speaker. Okay speaker. Is he a good leader? Well, yeah, maybe not. A bit of a fake, actually. A bit of a phony. Uh-oh, wrong button. Okay. Okay, let's go this way. This is what happens when you pretend leader. So the story goes, how does leadership change me as a speaker? Now, for those of you that don't know, I've been a Toastmaster for about 7 years. And when I first joined Toastmasters, as I mentioned, my focus was to be a better communicator, a better speaker. And so all I did was, I came up to the Toastmasters meetings, I did my speeches, I entered contests, and I had a lot of fun. Then one day, one of our members, who was the president at the time, who is also your immediate past district governor, Ligo Wong, she came up to me, and this is a very true story. She came up to me and she said, Kwong, would you like to be VPM? VPM stands for Vice President of Membership. Exactly. Now, what's the role of VPM? To recruit, to start, and to sign up new members. And I said, I don't really want to be VPM, I just want to do my speeches. And she goes, don't worry, it's a simple job, you'll be fine. I said, alright, why not? After one term, after 6 months as VPM, I signed up 0. 0 new members. Yeah, I wasn't a very good VPM. At the end of that 6 months, I said to Ligo, okay, I'm not going to be VPM, I'm just going to do my speeches. And she taps me on the shoulder and she goes, Kwong, I need an area governor. I said, did you see my job as VPM? And so I became the area governor. And for those of you who don't know what area governor is, the area governor looks after a few clubs. Okay? And I remembered why I agreed, because she said, Kwong, you're handsome, you're smart, yeah, lie. Exactly. I don't know why I believed her, but I did. And so I was area governor for 1 year. And as area governor, I started off with 4 clubs. At the end of 1 year, I had 4 clubs. And I later found out that one of those clubs almost died. And I only know this because somebody else told me. Ligo actually told me yesterday, Kwong, that club died. Ouch. So I retired from being the area governor. And I went back to my home club at the time. And my home club at the time was called Galaxy. Some of you might have visited or heard of Galaxy. It's quite a well-known established club in Guangzhou. And I went back to my club, and in our club we had 40 members in a club. And I went up to my president at the time. His name was Kevin. And I said, Kevin, we have too many members in our club. We have 40. Our members won't get a chance to talk. I won't get a chance to talk. I think we should split up the club and have 2 clubs. And then everybody will have a better chance to experience the Toastmasters experience. And Kevin said, Kwong, you're right. So many people have come up to me and said, I think we should split up the club. But nobody has volunteered. And then he looked at me. And I said, yeah, that's a terrible, terrible, terrible that nobody's volunteered. And so I went back and I thought about it. And here it was. Actually, I thought that I was a great leader. I thought I was an okay speaker, but I thought I was a great leader. And then when I looked back and I thought, geez, VPM, terrible. Area governor, horrible. And so I thought, okay, maybe I should try this. Maybe I should challenge myself to be a real leader. And I was actually scared. Look at my past experience. Maybe I'll start up a club and maybe it'll die again. and there was this big fear that was ripping into me. But it was the best experience of my life. I volunteered and I became a founding president. And when I became a founding president of my current home club called GEM, it opened up my world. It opened up my world as a speaker. The reason why it opened up my world, and it's not because of my makeup. The reason why it opened up my world is because in the past, I always thought about me. My whole focus throughout my Toastmasters journey was me. Now, when you become a leader, you realize that speaking isn't just about me, myself. It's actually about the group. It's about a lot of people. And as a founding president, my focus was no longer on me being a speaker. It was actually on how I could help our new members, and they were all new, how could I help them grow? How could I help them become better speakers, better communicators, better leaders as a leader? And all of a sudden my focus shifted. And when you're a speaker, you realize it's not about me up here on stage. It's about everybody out there. It's not what I want to talk about. It's not what I think you guys want to hear. It's actually about learning and understanding how I can help you guys. Well, not how I can help you guys. Let me rephrase that. What you as an audience want to hear to grow. And that's what I learned. And it's not about me. And it's a very simple change. It's actually about we. Yeah? Toastmasters isn't about being me-focused. It's about being we-focused. And when you're we-focused, it's amazing. When you start believing in other people and helping other people grow, they will then believe and help you. And this is something that I didn't imagine until I started up GEM. And through GEM, I met many fantastic people who helped me as a speaker because I believed in them. They also believed in me. I believed in their dreams. They believed in my dreams. People that I have met through my journey through GEM. Terry, your Lieutenant Governor of Education and Training. When I was trying to start up the club, and I was like, Terry, I can't start up this club. Nobody wants to join. He was a new guest at the time. And he came up to me and we had dinner at McDonald's straight after our meeting. And he brought out his laptop. And he said, Kwok, look, I've created this XL. And this is how we can keep track of everyone. I was like, wow. This is cool. And I felt encouraged. I felt like I had passion. I felt I had confidence. Through Toastmasters, through GEM, I also met some other lovely people. I met a lovely lady called Yongju Oh. For some of you might remember her. She was last year's humorous speech contest second place. Not only was she second place, the year before that, she was second place in the Chinese showcase speech. Now you might go, okay, she's second place. Now let me explain. Yongju is a Korean lady. She was Korean. Chinese was not her mother tongue. English was not her mother tongue. But she was so passionate that she was able to come second place in Chinese and English. Yeah. It's not an easy task. And we can only do that as a club, helping each other and giving each other feedback. I also met another lady. Her name was Yuki. She was Japanese. And when Yuki first came in the club, she was very shy. And she didn't say much. And she would always say, "Oh, thank you, thank you." She's always very polite. And that's the way she presented. Now Yuki is back in Japan, and she is one of the main organizers for the district convention in Japan. Now, this is the power of we. And without the power of we, I would never have made it to the world stage. And it doesn't just happen at the club level, it happens at all these other levels. If it wasn't for support from people like Ligo and from Yingdan, some of you might know Yingdan, who's from Shanghai, who's also a past district governor. And she helped me as well through my speeches. And that's what I learned through Toastmasters. It's not about being me-focused, it's about being we-focused. So that comes to my second lesson. What is the second lesson? So, what else did I learn through Toastmasters? What did I learn through my actual speaking journey as an international speaker? So let me give you some feedback of the history of my journey. In 2010, actually, who was here last night? A majority of people were here last night. You'll know that in 2008, I wanted to enter the International Speech Contest. And Ligo said to me, "Kwong, give it to somebody else to have a go." Oh, all right. And I became an evaluator. And as an evaluation champion, I learned a lot through evaluation. And then come 2010, it was my chance to finally enter the international... Too much spicy food. 2010, I had a chance to become a contestant at the International Speech Contest. And when I entered the contest, that year was in Shanghai. And I talked about... Who was there to listen to our speech? The big red balloon. Okay, only a few people. All right, good. Basically, my speech was about a big red balloon. And I was a little boy. And I had this big red balloon, which took me up in the sky and far, far away. So I took my big red balloon, and I showed my best friend Ed. I said, Ed, look at this, it's my big red balloon. It's going to take me up in the sky and far, far away. He said, "Have you heard of gravity?" My balloon deflated and popped. And then I went, and I was upset, and the balloon man gave me another big red balloon. And so I went and showed my mum and said, Mum, look at this big red balloon. It's going to take me up in the sky and far, far away. She said, "Study more, son." And my balloon deflated. And the story keeps going, and I was depressed, and I saw the balloon man, and the balloon man gives me another balloon. And when he gives me the balloon, I let go of it, and it floats up into the sky. And the balloon man says to me, "Little man, you can't let go of the balloon. It represents your dreams. Never ever let go, or you'll never ever know." And so that balloon man inspired me to hold on to my dreams. And with that speech, I won the District A5, so the China District at that time, International Speech Contest. And that gave me a ticket to go all the way to the US of A to participate in the International Speech Contest. I'm not sure if any of you know Ed Tate. Ed Tate is one of the past world champions. And he was actually the keynote speaker at the time. And I went up to Ed Tate and I said, "Ed, what do you think of my speech? Do you think I have a chance?" And he goes, "Kwong, I think you've got a good chance, and I think your speech is going to be amazing." And with that, I had all this confidence. And I went to the United States of America, and I was going to become first place. First, I had to go into a semi-final. And in the semi-final, there are 9 speakers from different districts. And only the winner of the semi-final gets to go to the international stage for the finals. And I went up there and I delivered my speech with a big red balloon, and I thought I was going to win. I did not come first place. I did not come second place. I didn't even come third place. I had no placing, and I was a little bit, well, very disappointed. And I went back to China, and I asked people, why didn't I win? Ed Tate said I was going to do well. Yeah, I got nothing. Yeah, and then lies, lies. And the lies. Anyway, it was a good experience. And I came back and I asked other senior members of Toastmasters in the community. And I said, why didn't I win? And they said, Kwong, your speech isn't believable. And I said, interesting. When I say interesting, or when anybody says interesting, it means that they don't agree with you. So I said, oh, interesting. I said, yeah, your speech isn't believable. I mean, I don't believe a little boy would run around with a big red balloon and say, oh, look at my balloon! And then there'll be this balloon man who'll tell you, never ever let go. Or you'll never ever know. I don't believe that, Kwong. I said, how could you not believe that? And the truth is, that whole story was made up. It was a lie. I created a whole story on a lie, and it got me to the world stage. But the biggest lesson that I learned between 2010 and 2011 is you can't make up your stories. You've got to speak about your own stories. You've got to speak from the heart. You've got to speak about things that you believe in. Because unless it's your story, you're not going to be able to impact people. And at first, I didn't believe that. I didn't believe that idea. I said, nobody wants to listen to my story. Nobody wants to listen to me and what I have to say. Because I do not have an interesting story. And that's how I thought for so long. It was only until I could jump over that hurdle when I started to believe in myself, to believe in my own stories, and to believe in my ability, was I able to jump into the next level. And so in 2011, I spoke about 4 words, and I spoke about a fortune cookie. All of those stories were my own personal experience. It was about the relationship between me and my parents. It was about the decisions and the wrong decisions I had made in life. And luckily for me, that took me to the international stage again, where I got second place. And that was, wow, an unbelievable experience. So, the second lesson that comes from this is that you have to believe in yourself. Believe in me. And this is a lesson that I'm still learning. Because for those of you who know, in 2012, this year, people kept asking me, saying, Kwong, are you going to try again? Are you going to try the international speech contest? You came second, you're so close. One more step, you're going to be number 1. One more step. One more step. And I said, I don't know. I said, well, maybe I'll let other people try. I think maybe I don't need to try. You know, number 2 is pretty good. I'm happy. And then I decided, I actually made the decision that I would not try again. And then I spoke to Lance Miller, also a past world champion. And Lance Miller said to me, Kwong, do you know what the biggest fear I had after I won the world championship? I said, what? He goes, the biggest fear I had was that now that I'm number one, that I won't be able to deliver speeches at the same level. I've made this great speech, and now everybody expects me to speak at that level or be better. And that was my biggest fear. If that's why you're not going to compete, then have a think about it. And when I thought about it, that was one of my biggest fears. One of my biggest fears after becoming world number 2, how am I going to get to that level again? Can I deliver speeches just as good as that fortune cookie speech? And that was my biggest fear. And I didn't believe in myself again. And so in 2012, this year, I entered the International Speech Contest again. But I didn't come first. I came second. I lost to a brilliant speech, Frank. He did a brilliant speech, yes and no. And it was flawless. And I was really happy. Well, I wasn't happy that I came second, but I was happy that I challenged myself again to overcome my fear and to try again. And even though I came second, and even though I didn't get what I wanted to get, at least I took that step of overcoming fear. So the second lesson is about believing in yourself and believing that you can rise above that fear to overcome that. And the only way that you can start to believe in yourself is to start believing in others. Because when we believe in we, other people are going to start believing in you. And it was only when other people started believing in me that I could start believing in myself. So it's all interconnected. Believe in others, be we-focused, and you'll start believing in yourself. Now, if we can do that, if we can follow those two very simple rules, I can guarantee that our lives are going to be like red hot chili peppers. Right? It's going to be colourful. Our lives are going to be colourful. Our lives are going to be exciting. And our lives are going to be wow. Yeah? And if we can all follow those two simple rules, if I can follow those two simple rules, I think we can use 3 uns to describe our lives. Right? 2 simple rules. Don't be me focused. Be we focused. Second rule, believe in yourself. And if we can do that, there'll be 3 uns that you can use to describe your life. Unregretful, unforgettable, and unbelievable. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. So how Mala was that? Mala, yeah?
Hello everyone. Are you ready for the Mala contest? Okay. Thinking on our feet critically, structuring your ideas quickly, giving advice encouragingly, and adding your own style wisely are the keys to compete in the evaluation speech contest. I'm longing to see how these keys can bring another art piece of evaluation. So let's invite our contest chair of District 89 Evaluation Contest Final 2012, Division E Governor, ACB ALB Phyllis Huang, to the stage and lead us through this exciting contest. Let's welcome Phyllis.
And to me, it's the same. Do you know why?
Why?
Very good audience. 5 years ago, in 2007, I had my Mala first time with Huang Yueyang. On this stage. I mean, at the time, in the 2007 evaluation contest final, district level, I and Huang participated for the first time for the English evaluation contest. And you say, 5 years ago, how young I am. I was. At least much younger than Huang then. Among the 6 contestants then, 3 of them are the Distinguished Toastmasters, DTM. And other 3 is Huang, me, and a handsome. And I don't mean Huang is not handsome. So as you can see, Huang now already achieved the world level, but he still participates in the contest to learn from the best, because we always have the room for improvement. And is that also the reason why you're sitting here? We all know we have many first times in Toastmasters. I and Huang had our first time, and so do you. Today, some of our contestants, I believe, it's also the first time to reach the stage, the district level stage. Can we cheer up our contestants for the first time? My story in 2007 doesn't end, because at the time, I thought I was so young. Then I even looked like a contestant at the district level. You know why? Because when it was my time to get on the stage, and when I walked aside and towards the stage, I was stopped by a certain SAA there. And he said, "Hey miss, the audience shouldn't walk along in the room when the speech contest is proceeding." And I said, "Okay, I know. After I deliver my speech, I will be sitting." And he said, "You are the contestant?" And I said, "Yes, I am. Please give me some time. I need to put on the microphone." And he let it go. And I remember that SAA for 5 years, because I think he was one of the most responsible SAA I've ever seen. So, you see, the rules is so that important. Time is limited, and I will proceed for the rules. And for all the contestants, audience, and SAA and judges, are you ready for the rules?
Yes.
Firstly, please take out your cell phone. Not calling me, but turn off or switch it into the silence mode, please. During the contest speech, the audience is all required to be seated, and no lane entry is allowed because our handsome SAA will guard the door. And the photographies and video are not permitted during the speech contest. At the beginning of this speech contest, a 5 to 7 minute speech will be given, and all the contestant is allowed to make preparation notes during that. And timer, please also count the 5 to 7 minutes test speech and report to me the timing after the speech. Okay? And all the contestants will then be invited out by our SAA and be given 5 minutes to get preparation. After 5 minutes, the SAA will collect all of your notes until the contestant's time for arrive. And the contestant will be invited back into this room and introduced to present their evaluation. The evaluation contest timing is very important. So everybody please pay attention to the timer sitting in the middle of our main hall. For all the evaluation speeches, it should be during 2 to 3 minutes. Any speeches is less than 1 minute and 30 seconds or over 3 minutes and 30 seconds will be disqualified. A green signal will be shown when it was 2 minutes and will hold out for 30 seconds. A yellow signal will be shown at 2 minutes 30 seconds and hold on for 30 seconds. A red signal will be shown when it's 3 minutes and will last until your speech is concluded. And no signal will be shown for the overtime period. And the contestant will be introduced in the way of contestant's name and contestant's name again. And upon being introduced, the contestant shall proceed to the speaking position, and timing will begin at the contestant's first verbal or non-verbal communication to our audience. And the speaking area is defined as from the left side to the right side, and the front and the back. We will reserve 1 minute silence before the first contestant and between each contestant. And we reserve 2 minutes silence after the last contestant for the judges to make the ranking ballots and for our ballot counters to collect the ballots. And the speaking sequence has been drawn earlier this morning, very, very earlier, and as stated below. So the first contestant is Andrew Yang, second, Eric Chen, third, Stephen Hu, fourth, Vanessa Lee, 5, Tony Zhang, 6, Sherry Hall, and 7, Tina Wong. For any protests concerning the eligibility and originality are limited to the judges and contestants. And any protest shall be raised with our Chief Judge, Joshua, and the Conference Chair, me, before the announcement of the final results. And all decision of the judges are final. So, above are the rules for the evaluation contest, and we are going to proceed. And our SAA team, are you ready? Our timer, are you ready? Our Chief Judge, are you ready? And our contestants, are you ready?
Yes!
And our audience, are you ready?
Yes!
Let's welcome the text speaker, Justin. Justin Margot Ye. Internationality. Justin Margot Ye.
I think this Toastmasters conference is a huge but wonderful example of internationality. Just in the tea break time, I met a guest coming all the way from Nebraska, White Eagle, just to be a guest. I see a lot of people coming from the same city where I am from Shanghai. Not to do. And I see a lot of people coming from all of the places of the District 89. Isn't it? Yes. That's you. So, we are together in this wonderful city of Chengdu. Yes! But when I introduce myself, hi, I'm Justine. The second question the people are asking me, where are you from? Yeah? And then I say the truth. I'm from Shanghai. Shanghai? Yes, I'm Shanghainese. This leads to a lot of different other questions. Usually the people are not that nice like you. They are asking you, no, you are not Shanghainese. Ask the Shanghainese taxi drivers. They are very, very particular about that. So I have to answer in Shanghainese. 我是上海人。No, you are not. So then I asked him, do you want the long story or the short story? So then I start with the long story. My family! Half of my family coming from my mother's side are German who had to live in the same house. But after the Second World War, it became suddenly Polish. Right? Half of the other family, my father's family, is half Polish and half East European, let me say that. Okay? They are Russians, Belarus, Ukrainian, Czech, Slovakian. They traveled far. I have even a grandmother coming from Kazakhstan. Never met her. I think she was a wonderful lady. I was born in Poland. My first nationality was Polish. My first name was Polish. It was Justyna Małgorzata Kapińska. My first mother tongue was Polish. And then, 11 years later, I came to Germany. I thought it would be just a 3-day trip. Okay? On the first night, my mom told me, oh, by the way, we are staying here. For forever! It's not really forever. Now I'm in China, right? My mom is not always right. But nevertheless, 1 year later, I got the German nationality and German mother tongue. I learned German.
Ich liebe dich.
Ich liebe dich auch. I will come to that.
Was ist das?
Are you married? I will come to that. Because 4 years later, 4 years ago, I came to Shanghai, living here, and half a year living in Shanghai, I met my Mr. Right. I took his name. This is such a cool name. I love it. I miss his hair. My mother tongue did not become Chinese. Don't worry about that. But I am one of the examples that the new nationality is internationality. Because who am I really? I'm not really Polish. In fact, for 4 years, I could not even speak my mother tongue. I forgot it. I have to learn it again. I can speak it a little bit. Don't worry, I will not do that. German, it is not really my mother tongue because I only learned it in the age of 11. But this is still language very close to me. Now, due to my husband who is not teaching me Chinese, my mother tongue became now English. I'm speaking a lot of English in my work, in my home, not only with my parents-in-law. There we are trying to do some Chinese style. It works somehow. learned a lot of them. Not all of them very good. But I consider myself international. So, when I answer you on the question, where are you from? I will tell you first, I'm from Shanghai. And what's my nationality? International.
Thank you very much, Justine. Could you please have a rest here? Thank you for Justine Pago. Yeah. Now, all the contestants shall be invited out of the room, and our SAA team will have. Oh, sorry. Timer, shall we give us the time of the test speech?
7 minutes and 20 seconds.
7 minutes and 20 seconds, just really on time. Congratulations. And now, as the SAA team, could you please lead our contestants throughout the room? Thank you. Good luck for all the contestants. Well, after that, we'll have an interview with our Mrs. Here. So, let's welcome our Justine back to the stage.
Thank you.
Oh, Justine, may I have some questions for you?
Oh, yeah.
How long have you been in Toastmasters?
For 2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
So, which area, which division and area club are you representing?
Okay, I'm representing now Shanghai #1 Toastmasters Club. This is the first club in mainland China. I cannot take any credit for that because I was not the founding president or something like that. But I'm a very proud member of Shanghai #1. It is in division O2. Okay, and district 85. So you're like a mother district.
Well, Christine, the differences, can you share us your feeling about the differences when you speak in the club and on the district stage?
I tell you what, this is much more louder laughter. I love it!
Yeah.
I love it! You are a huge and great and enormous audience. I love every one of you, and thank you for laughing.
Hey, Christine, may I know what inspired you to think of this kind of title and topic about internationality?
It wasn't really this question, where are you from? It's very, very difficult to answer for me. I think now you understand it, right? And also, yesterday and today, a lot of people were asking me, so where are you from? Shanghai! As I said, it's a very difficult question. I don't know how to answer it in a different way. I would have really to make a 5-minute speech, at least.
Well, behind you talk about your nationality and what you think is the really difference that inspires you the most or touch you the most when you see different people from different places.
The one and most important thing is you are getting a lot of ideas. A lot! Right? When you're sitting all the time only in one place, this is all the time the same idea coming up somehow. But when there are people coming from different places, there are different ideas. And they are mixing up. And they are getting something better and better and better. And this is what also Toastmasters is about. We have not only here people from all over the city, we have people from all over the state, even from all over the world coming here to us. And why not use all these ideas to make something better and better, better? District 89, huh? You can make it really good. Be better than your mother.
That's really great inspiration for us. Well, you met your Mr. Right.
Mr. Ye.
Mr. Ye in Shanghai.
Yeah.
And actually, I really want to know something in this story.
What do you want to know? It's getting private.
What do you think? At the very first beginning, do you have some obstacles for different nationalities?
It is. It is a really big difference because he is really Shanghainese and I am what I am. The thing is, it's sometimes very difficult. Very difficult because I have my own ideas where I really like it and I like to stick to some of the traditions and he as well. But sometimes they're not communicating well. For example, I love to have a Christmas family dinner. But in Shanghai, 24th of December, it's just a normal working day. And it's not really the feeling what I'm getting there. Why? For Chinese New Year, I don't get it so much. Because they're just sitting and eating and nobody's really talking to me. And I never got football. So it's really, this kind of thing is already difficult. But if you are facing this kind of problems, that you are living in this relationship with two different cultures, then the thing what you have to do is communicating and leading. So being a good Toastmasters. Right?
We just talked about communicating and leading. Do you mean you're also leading your husband?
Yeah, but he don't know it.
And that's the thing that I want to learn. How to lead without let them know it.
I always let him think it's his own idea. So it means I reward him for taking my idea. I tell him, you did such a good thing. Thank you so much. Such a good facility.
Here is the certification. Well, thank you for being the test speaker for the evaluation contest.
Thank you so much.
Receive different ideas from different nationalities. And we also expect different ideas from our contestants. But before I invite the first contestant, please allow 1 minute silence. Allow 1 minute silence. Please welcome the first contestant. Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang.
Contest chair, ladies and gentlemen, and Mrs. Ye. It's good to be here. It's a very exciting conference. Mrs. Ye, you are very lucky, do you know? You get to deliver on the same stage as Mr. Kwong Yu Yang. I will do anything for this opportunity because I can tell people that I deliver a prepared speech in the same conference as Kwong. You are also very brave. You are the prepared speech speaker right after Kwong. Did you see what Kwong was doing? Machine gun, and then balloon, big balloon. He was doing all that. I thought the speaker who speaks after Kwong will have a difficult time. You did not let the audience down. Just on that, I want to give you a bow and a round of applause. You spoke about internationality. You are a Shanghaian, right? I'm from Hong Kong. 我係香港人. I'm also from New Zealand. So that is exactly what you are talking about in your speech. We are all from different countries. You have got a lot of jokes in the speech, and the speech was well organized. I've been thinking very hard in the past 5 minutes. What can I comment on you so that you can further improve? Now, instead of trying to do something fancy, I want to stick to the basics in Toastmasters. Comment on your structure, your content, and your delivery. Your structure, your speech, it begins with a story about yourselves, and then you move on to your sort of message, which is about internationality. And then you ended it very well. You said, my nationality is internationality. It was a short ending, but it ended very well. My comment about your structure is, perhaps you spent too much time in the beginning part, which I begin to think whether she was delivering an icebreaker about yourself or trying to give the message. If you can, which I move to the content, which is if you can talk more examples, show more examples that internationality, I know this guy, he's from here and there. So instead of just using your example, quote more example, it would make the speech even more solid. Finally, your delivery. There's no fault in your delivery. It was so good. You're doing all the internationally excellent. You are already a very spicy speaker. You are from Shanghai, but I can tell speakers in Chengdu are even more spicier. So you can sort of speed up the pace. I think you've got a lot of good jokes. If you can speed up even more the pace, you can be even more spicier. In conclusion, well done. You will be the next Kwong, I'm certain. Are you already a champion speaker, world champion speaker? Okay, so next time you will be the world champion on speaking if you can work on your content, structure, and delivery. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Now, please reserve 1 minute silence for the. Now, please join me to welcome the second contestant. Ayrton.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Good morning, two pandas on the run. Good morning, Justine. Where's Justine? Thank you so much for a brilliant story today. I think your speech has a chance for tomorrow's humorous speech. And that is not a lie. Now, about your speech, I have three things to say. The first thing is, I think your speech is an incredibly compelling one. By saying that, I mean you are extremely attention-grabbing. When you were speaking, I bet there is no single person in this room that is not listening to you. How did you do that? You did it with three things. First of all, you begin with the conference, something that we were all experienced, we were all familiar and just experienced. When you were talking about asking people where they were from, and I was sitting there, yes, I just did that. That was something people can immediately relate to, and then you get people's attention. Second thing is, you told a personal story. People like stories, especially a personal one. Third thing is, you did everything with a humorous twist. When people ask you, where are you from? And you were saying, Shanghai. And people were like, wow, that is a twist. And people were like, the audience, when they listened to that, they were surprised. And they listened to you. Now, the second thing is, when I listening to your speech, I was thinking, that was Justine. She was born in Poland, and then she moved to Germany, to China. She has a very different experience. How can I be that? Am I an international person? I was not, because I did not have that experience. How could I relate to your experience? You did mention that we are all international because we speak two languages. But there are more things that you can talk about. For example, we become international because we are Toastmasters. We meet with people around the world. We try to learn different cultures. If you can dip a little bit deep into that topic and make people relate to that experience, in the stage you was kind of telling a personal story. That was good, but how can we relate to that? How we can become international person? That is something I think you can improve on. Now, last one, when you were speaking on the stage, you own the stage. I bet if somebody get onto the stage, you probably would push and punch him and stamp him.
with your body movement, the vocal variety. Everything is perfect. It was a great speech. To sum up, it's a very compelling one. You need to dig into the topic, and your body language, vocal variety is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you. Now, let's welcome the third contestant. Stephen Hu. Stephen Hu.
We should not be defined by our internationality, by our nationality. What a humorous and inspiring speech by Christine. Thank you. And I would like to evaluate her speech with the word first, inter, that she used. First, I for interesting. I've long time no see such a humorous speaker, except me. She got a lot of humorous points in her speech. For example, 阿拉斯上欢迎